let me tell you about one of the biggest business deal that happened in the world of hip-hop. All right, this story is about BizYield and Ciroc. What does BizYield have to do with Ciroc? So, a few years ago, there was this vodka company. They wanted to get into the US market, but they were doing terribly because they were selling 40,000 carton of their products, Ciroc, in a market that consumes 55 million carton of vodka. That's the US market. So imagine doing 40K in a 55 million sales market. You're not going anywhere. So Ciroc, let's say this is Ciroc, right? Their bottle is a certain way. So Ciroc came to this artist, P Diddy. So this is P Diddy. Let's draw a mic for him. I know. So Ciroc came to P Diddy and said, excuse me. Ciroc came to P Diddy and said, please, we're going to make you a deal. Now, here's the deal. You are not going to get any equity. So zero equity. You're not going to get any equity in our business, but we are going to give you 50% off the US sales that you make. P Diddy said, yes, let's do it. Sorry. Yes. Sorry, my voice still looks like X. Bad writing. So P Diddy said, yes, let's do it. And he poured everything. A lot of us who were, really listening to P Diddy then, his videos had Ciroc. His club moments, his Instagram moments, everything had Ciroc. And it worked. Ciroc grew from selling 40,000 cartons of their vodka every year to 2 million cartons on an annual basis. This deal gave P Diddy his billionaire status, or maybe almost his billionaire status, but he made a lot of money, close to $1 billion from this deal, because he influenced this sale and got 50% of all the sales that he influenced in the US. Now, what did these guys do? They gave him a share of the revenue, not equity. And that's what we do with BizYield. Now, imagine that this is not Ciroc. Imagine this is a bakery business that is profitable, that has constant revenue. They have constant revenue, right? And they are coming to BizMarket. And this is you. You don't care about the equity. You want your money, right? So what this bakery does and what we do for them with our private equity firm is we take their revenue and then we tokenize it and put it and say, okay, so 20% of this, your revenue, on a monthly basis, you would give to BizMarket for maybe 1 year or 2 years. And then we value this 20% of the revenue at maybe $10,000. So anybody who buys into the BizYield for this business has a share of their monthly revenue for either the next 1 year or 2 years. So let's say this bakery business makes $5,000 in 1 month in revenue sales. This is before they remove everything that has. Remember, you're not collecting equity. You're collecting a share of their revenue. So if they make $5,000 in sales and maybe you bought 50, let's say this is you. Let's say you bought $50 worth of their BizShare on BizMarket. This means that you have, let's do a simple division, 50 divided by 10,000 times 100. Remove these 2 zeros, remove this 0, 1 0 is remaining, put the points here, put the 0. So it means you have 0.5% of the 20% that will come from this $5,000 of sales that this business has made in a month. So 0.5% of $5,000 is $20. Abi? 1% is 25, yes. It's $25. So it means that in a certain month, what you have is $25. Now, will they always make $5,000 every month? No. But because of the time duration, which is maybe 1 year, so 2 years, it seems like a big deal, a good deal, because in one of those months, you can make half of what you already put in to buy their BizShare. Does that make sense? So what we are doing is taking this same model. This happens every day in businesses. The only difference is that this is the first time we are bringing a model like this to exist on chain. And we've perfected the coordination layer to make this kind of model work on chain. So because of the time duration for this yield, for this business, it makes sense to buy into them. So essentially what you're doing is taking a bet on the business. Now it is high risk because the bakery could fail tomorrow. Anything can happen tomorrow. But that's also why the minimum buy-in is low. So that's an example of how BizYield and Ciroc has some sort of what should I call it? Similarity. So why does this model work? It works because the businesses retain 100% of their equity. The deal is only made on the revenue. So this business can go on to raise funds tomorrow, whether maybe in a pre-seed, in a seed, or whatever at that point, and they still would be able to retain 100% of their equity. So when people buy BizYield on BizMarket, they are aware, everything is there also in the terms and agreement, that it is revenue that you're getting. This doesn't give you ownership. So you're not buying into the ownership of the business. You're buying into the revenue of the business. So that's why BizYield makes sense. The other great part of this is BizMarket has a secondary market where you can always trade your BizShares. Say you want to sell the BizYield of this bakery tomorrow. You can always come to the secondary market and sell it. And anybody who buys it would earn the stablecoin payouts. So there's a secondary market for you to sell your BizShares. That's it.